We are back, and there has been a lot of misinformation being put out there when it comes to the budget for Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny. One of the things that has surfaced recently was an article that talked about a $300 million spend, and some people are saying that that budget is probably closer to $350 million. But one of the things that they do talk about in the article is the fact that the UK gives a 25% tax credit, transferable tax credit, which is sold and brokered. And I can get into some of the details with that a little bit later, but it offsets to the tune of almost $50 million. One of the other things that is left out of the article is that other countries have their incentives as well. Indiana Jones 5 filmed in Tunisia. They give an 18% on all production costs except airline and hotel rentals. Italy gives 40% tax credit. And they also include the above the line. I know some people were saying Harrison Ford's salary is not included in any of these things, and that's not accurate. What they do is they pick the best country based on the rate exchange that they can apply that cost to. Ireland is another location that Indiana Jones 5 filmed in. They give anywhere from 32 to 34% tax break on the money that is spent there. And so when you start adding up all these different countries, the budget is way lower than what they're throwing out there. They're throwing out the main number, but not taking into account that what you do is when you qualify for a tax credit, you apply that when you finance the film, taking more of your burden of the budget off. And then when the movie's completed, and sometimes you can get the rebate or the tax credit within 60 days. Sometimes you have to wait a full fiscal year and when they file taxes to get the tax credit. And so there's so many different ways to skin a cat here that when you start hearing that the budget is $350 million and they're going to spend all this money on marketing, and no, I mean, you look at what Disney did with Avatar 2, The Way of Water, 99% of all marketing in China was completely paid for internally by China with a deal with their largest, it's basically like their version of Amazon, picked up all the marketing costs. It's interesting to hear people on the internet talk about things they don't understand, and I try to educate people when I can, but you know, some people want to see this movie fail, and some people just don't understand the film industry at all and how it works and how things are done. I applaud the people that are trying to educate the public, but they're giving out way too much misinformation. So Indiana Jones 5 is going to be okay. I remember hearing when the last James Bond film was shot, they went to so many different countries that it almost completely offset the entire budget due to all of the different breaks they were going to get from all the different countries. And there's also little sweetheart deals too. I remember hearing something about one of the James Bond films, just to film the one rooftop scene in Mexico and shoot in Mexico, as long as they used the reigning Miss Mexico in a scene in some capacity, they would get $2 million towards the production, just free money. You know, they're not talking about tie-ins, you know, whether, you know, there's companies that'll do product placement within things. Now with something that's dated like an Indiana Jones film, there may not be a lot of product placement at all, but for other movies there are, and that completely offsets a lot of the burden of the production companies. So when you're hearing people go, oh my God, they're going to lose all this money, I don't think so. I think it's going to be okay. Indiana Jones is going to be fine. And if anything, even if it did go south in some capacity, Avatar is doing extremely well. Avatar 2 for Disney. The Little Mermaid is clearly going to be one of these films that breaks $1 billion. The parks are doing well. And, you know, 2024 is, you know, not too far away when Disney Plus will be in the plus from all the investing that they did. So there's a good positive year with 2023. And I'm not going to be one of those guys that thinks the sky is falling and that Disney is doomed. Not going to happen. They got this.